Might and Magic Clash of Heroes Definitive Edition is a game that I honestly knew very little about, but the more I've researched it, the more excited I have become. It offers this unique mix of puzzle, strategy, and RPG elements, and then it originally released on the DS in 2009, and it was considered a classic by many players. Well, now the big question is, can it still earn a recommendation in 2023 with this definitive edition? Well, that's what I'm here to discuss. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner, and if you do enjoy the video today, consider subscribing, it helps out the channel a huge amount. The story of Might and Magic is transparently something I knew very little about, but it was easy to pick up with its self-contained narrative. Now the events here, they take place 40 years before the heroes of the Might and Magic 5 saga, and it revolves around 5 heroes from 5 different regions of Ashan. Each of these heroes belongs to a different faction, such as elves, humans, and necromancers. The past, it seems, has seen conflicts between these different areas, but peace has been found, and we even witnessed some brief opening interactions discussing their ongoing alliances. Unfortunately though, this peace is short-lived. While on an expedition, the heroes come under attack from demons, resulting in the death of some great warriors, including the family of characters we will be playing as. Now these demons, they are out to cause destruction and chaos by deceiving each faction into thinking they are under attack from one another. Our role in the game is to stop this evil army, warn the people of Ashan that they are being manipulated, and unite them against the common enemy that threatens them all. Really impressed, love the characters and the world, and I was invested throughout. When it comes to gameplay, this game is packed with a huge number of mechanics, especially from a combat perspective, so I'm going to try and keep it relatively high level today. Now, to describe the combination of mechanics, however, the exploration takes place in a world where you can only move between specified markers. The combat is a puzzle-based system, but understanding stats and unit types that will be essential for success. And then finally, the additional RPG elements that, reinforce the gameplay. That includes basic equipment and squad management, alongside characters and units that do level up. It is quite the combination, but it works together incredibly. Controls for exploration are thankfully simple, and here movement can be controlled with the joystick or the D-pad, and we have a single button for interactions. Now through the world you will meet a cast of characters, some friendly, others not so much, and this is clearly then signified by a marker above their head. It might be a conversation, it could be a battle. Additionally, alongside this though, expect to find secret locations, side quests, and additional puzzles. We even get the very occasional random battles, but these can be skipped with a tap of the B button if you do prefer. Overall, for exploration though, it's just quick and simple to move around, and that really is exactly what you want. Battles in Might and Magic Clash of Heroes then are where the complexities and strategies really come into play. Now the main objective here is to launch attacks and hit the back of the battlefield, depleting the enemy's health meter. That will lead us to victory. This, however, is not as simple as it sounds. Each unit has attack points assigned to them, which can be emptied before you even get close and through the waves of enemies. It's really essential to understand what lies ahead of you and how to match these units up effectively. The core gameplay of battles can be described as match-free gameplay. Now you line up identical units vertically that will prepare them for attacks. Each unit has a unique warm-up sequence that may take then 1 or multiple turns. On average, you do then get 3 moves per round, but there are going to be deviations. For instance, connecting 3 units horizontally, that creates a barrier that will reward you with an additional move. Maybe you'll delete a character from a battlefield, that will then create a chain reaction and same result, it's gonna give you another go. All actions additionally then as well move units towards the front line, which can change the battlefield dramatically. In addition to regular units, there are elite and champions as well, and now to power up elite units, you must line up 2 units of the same colour directly behind them. Champions, they require a square of 4 units directly behind them as well. Now these units can be lethal if you manage to make their charge time worth the wait. Essentially just kind of focus on, holding down at that front line. However, it is worth knowing you can only assign 1 of each type to your army, and you will unlock many. If they also die on the battlefield, they are removed from your army. You'll need to visit specific locations in the exploration element to purchase replacements, adding a touch of danger to the gameplay. The battles, though, just overall incredibly addictive, and as you progress, enemies become more challenging strategically with bigger health meters and of course demanding objectives. They may have units that can wipe you out in one blow or even require you to fulfill specific conditions to win the battle. It will start to gradually move away from simply just attacking the back of the field. It's also important to note that characters and the elite and champion units, they do level up, so it's beneficial to engage in side quests and random battles just to kind of handle the incoming difficulty spikes. You will also want to pay attention to your equipment screen. Each character can have what is one buffer, and you will unlock many of these. Regarding the characters whose army you control as well, this game is actually broken into chapters, so you will play as them all at some point, and each controls a different army with varying abilities. I really think that's what keeps gameplay here so rewarding. You're using the same mechanics over and over, but you're unlocking something new near constantly. Regarding complaints for gameplay, there aren't many, but there are a few, what I consider minor ones. The map system could be considered lackluster, although it does always point you in the right direction most of the time. Just a little bit more detail wouldn't have killed them, honestly. And occasionally you may encounter, as I said, difficulty spikes that necessitate some grinding, and it can be frustrating when you start looking around for opponents and they essentially far outdo your level, so it becomes a bit of a hunt around the map to figure out exactly what battles you may have missed that are going to be manageable. This is particularly frustrating as well because when you meet an NPC with an optional battle, their level information isn't readily available until you've gone through a loading screen to the pre-battle setup page, and yeah, it would have just been more convenient if the game could provide this information in the conversation, just saving you that future hassle. This though, honestly minor, it's addicting stuff. I can't wait to check out the online 1v1 and 2v2 battles just as more people come online, and yeah, you can even play those locally too, and you'll be unlocking new characters and new armies for this mode by completing that core campaign. Visually then, I do think the game is showing its age a bit when it comes to the animations. They're kind of, I guess, basic throughout the experience, especially during the exploration, but I really do like the style overall. It's got a cartoonish look that works perfectly for the fantasy theme, and a highlight has to be the character models during conversations. These pop up on screen, they look fantastic. There's even a few animated sequences that look really special as well. These tend to punctuate chapters of the story. I would have loved to have seen more of this. The battlefield then is relatively simple to understand, and while the units are identical within each army, that makes sense given the match-free gameplay. One issue I did note was that playing handheld, a few of the numbers feel extremely small, which surprised me as this came from the DS, but there's just a lot going on here with health meters attached to each unit and all that good stuff, and yeah, I made a few minor mistakes because of this issue. Problems, my build of the game, in docked it was 720p, that is what you are seeing on screen today, but that will be corrected with a day one patch, and that is also minor because I still think the game, it looked great and it ran perfectly. Audio finally, no problems here. I think they could have done more with the world personally, just environmental effects, but at the same time it does make sense. It wasn't going to be a big focus when it was originally released on the DS. They've also clearly focused on overpowering music, which is thankfully what you would expect from fantasy, sweeping epic pieces that just simply reinforce the action. We also get some minor attack sounds for the puzzle battle elements, and some voice acting appears during the occasional brief animated sequence. Might and Magic Clash of Heroes Definitive Edition was a winner in 2009, and that statement holds true in 2023. From the moment I picked it up, I couldn't put it down, and still, with this review out, I'm not ready to move away from the game. I'm excited now to get online and start battling it out where I can level up a character all over again. The unique combination of strategy, RPG, and puzzle works together perfectly, and I'd go as far as saying one of my favorite games I've played yet this year. If you have any interest in any of the genres mentioned, this is well worth checking out, and it's an amazing 9 out of 10 from me. So will you be checking this one out, or maybe you played it back in the day on the DS? Let me know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.